Any Kind Live.
Hi guys.
And the Any Kind call is real. Getting kind of any kind.
What kind of work is this, you two?
Of Any Kind Live.
Look at the chain is out, gigantic, and he wants to land the same.
Welcome to a new Any Kind Live. I'm Kaipo Guerrero. As always, I'm joined by my partner and the man you'll find 41st Ave, the best surf shop in Santa Cruz, Freeline Designs, Mr. Peter Condor. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Kaipo. How's life over there in the islands?
Things are good. It's Irie. You know what I mean? Whatever. We got warm
Still
water.
board
We got
shorts.
tons of surf. I've been wearing a
it's
spring
52
suit. It's been a
degrees
little
here.
cold for the Hawaiian. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Spring suit. I'm 4-3 in hoods over here, bro. And it's like, I actually would love to actually have gloves right now. It's been pretty chilly, 52. Ouch. It's a little bite when you jump in.
We'll put out a for everyone watching at Any Kind Live, if anyone can help Peter Mel secure a glove sponsor, that would be great. If they had webs on them, that would be even better. If they were
Darkfin.
Things.
Darkfin, if they're listening.
Darkfin.
Darkfin.
Okay,
Internet
you actually
only
have
gloves.
a brand that you have a brand that you
they're
like, right?
They're the only ones, and I wear them. They're the only ones that I find that are the webbed version that are latex, and they aren't neoprene. They're latex.
Yeah.
So they're light.
So
I like the lightness of it.
So do you know, Peter, this is kind of an interesting subject, is that a lot of photos that I have of myself from my short and forgettable pro surfing career in the late 80s, I had Apes on, which was another glove company,
Yes.
and that ruined
Aquatic
all those
propulsion.
shots because equipment.
Right? Equipment, yeah. Apes.
Aquatic propulsion equipment, yeah, Apes. So I had those gloves on.
They only came out with
and,
gloves, though. What else did they have? Did they have fins and anything else?
No, they just had gloves, and I believed in those gloves because Richie Collins would like wiggle to the beach faster than I would, and he would win all the events. I'm just like, well, maybe if I have those gloves, I can compete with Richie and wiggle and paddle faster than everyone for my 4 waves in 15 minutes or whatever the hell that was. But all it did was register a bunch of goofy surfing photos. Enough about me. Let's
Did
talk
you wear
about big
lycra
waves.
backed ones or the all neoprene?
Lycra backs. Yeah, I had a bunch of
Did you
different
have
colors.
tipless or full tip?
No, I put the tips on, buddy. You gotta be safe.
You like the tips
Um,
for the extra propulsion.
Always.
They had bigger
It's
webs.
I got bad shoulders still because of those things. Let's talk about something that's close to you, Peter, and that's big waves. And I look to always, credible media sources when I look at developments in surfing. So, who do I look to first? Beach Grit, of course, because there's something in between the lines right here with Beach Grit, and they're questioning, the future of the big wave tour. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah. I think there is something to be said about that. I mean, we haven't had any big wave events, and we've had a really good year, right? We've had an amazing season, at least here. And Hawaii had some waves too, right? I mean, they had the outer reefs and stuff like that. I mean, we had no eddy, right? And a lot of the reason why these things are happening is because of COVID. That's just the big thing about it. I mean, Peahi's one of the events that we had scheduled on tour, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon, even if we did have a swell, because of this COVID restrictions. That's the biggest thing about it, is getting people here and within 2 or 3 days notice, and that's just probably not going to happen.
So, I mean, is there credibility to this claim that, we're not going to see a big wave tour anymore on the WSL? And it's hard for me to believe that because
No.
You and I have worked big
I don't
wave
think
events
so.
before, and they're some of the most viewed, applauded events that the WSL has ever put on air. I'm going to say the last 3 Jaws challenges that we had actually had landmark waves happening in a competition format. That's incredible, and I don't think we can abandon that.
No, I mean, Pipeline was a place that does that for the World Tour, and the Big Wave, World Tour. I guess that it's a little bit deceiving in that sense, because the World Tour or the Big Wave Tour already kind of was done because we didn't have a tour. We had one event, and Peahi being the one event, unfortunately getting canceled. So yeah, the tour in a way is going to be canceled because we can't run that one event. There's the Big Wave Awards, which is another part of the Big Wave realm of the WSL, and that hasn't been announced, right? So that's one question: is that going to be something that's going to happen this year? With a banner year that's happened, I would say that it would be behoove the WSL to kind of celebrate big wave surfing, and not just because I had a great season, but I think that it's something that everyone had good seasons. There's a lot of good waves to look at. I mean, look at what Justine Dupont did this year.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's pretty crazy Nazare had the very early season with all those big waves that happened. There was some crazy waves that happened at Peahi with the toe and surfing kind of making a resurgence, and and what happened at Mavericks too. So there's a lot to look at.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that that Double XL Awards will happen this year. I'm hoping that for future events, and I already vote for you for Wave of the Year, Pete. So hopefully
Thank
it'll
you.
happen. And you get that trophy. I think you got the Wave of the Year.
Who knows? I'm thinking there can be some creativity coming out of this that could create cool big wave events that can be done via the internet, competition wise. And even, for the most part, a lot of the stuff you're doing anyways, put up in live, like you can do live feeds. So you could do a pretty easy competition. For example, let's take a look at what Surfline has done for the last couple swells. For the Valentine's Day swell, they ran a broadcast and just ran raw footage of Pipeline, and it was pretty entertaining. Especially when Pipeline was going off as much as it was, but they're doing replays and what else? They did that same thing for the Big Wave at Peahi, that big Sunday. So it's a platform that it's underutilized, and I think it'd be a place that can expand further.
Yeah. I'm not going to give up on actually having 4 guys or 6 guys in the water. I'd like to see 4, but whatever the number is, I'm not going to give up on the fact that I want to see in the future, and I think we're going to get there, back to guys in a time frame with jerseys on and having that head-to-head competition, because we can do as many virtual events as we please in this day and age, and it's a new reality, but nothing beats the actual spirit of competition when you have a group of guys going head-to-head in the water with the clock ticking.
And a winner announced at the end, right? Like, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot to be said about that type of competition. It brings out a different, there's certain players that excel in that format, right? And then there's probably others that wouldn't. And I think there's a world that exists where everyone can have success in any way that they try and compete. Or, for example, going back to our last show when we talked about Jamie O'Brien and him reaching 700K and what his career is now looking at. It's not about competition. It's about him finding out the next cool thing that's going to go and be fun to watch, right? And the next character that he's going to meet, that he's going to hang out with, Cowboy Cerrone, right? It's like he hung out with Cowboy, dude. How cool is that? Anyway.
It's the power of YouTube. It's the power of social media, for sure. You know what I mean? Remember, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and enjoy. Leave your comments below. Anything, we take the input. You want subject matter, whatever, just put on your comments below. Any kind live coming at you. And thank you for watching.
I ain't waste no time. I had to run for it. Money on my mind. I had to run for it. Fuck that 9 to 5. I had to run for it. I ain't far behind. I had to run for it. Look, late 20s got me feeling stressed. Thinking about my 30s, me, my death. thinking about my come-ups and my debts. So lost when my phone got GPS. Look, find myself strolling down the timeline. Then I'm asking God, when is it my time? All my rapper homies getting checks. I know me, my bro shit coming next. Put some respect, look, I ain't have a baby yet. Let me take my baby steps. I ain't get to say these yet.